Hey guys, Willard here, back again with another edition of Throwback Thursdays, and what I have for you today is the Kenner Gargoyles Steel Clan robot. That's right, the footman for Mr. David Xanatos, who was the first Throwback Thursday of this year, I do believe. So, with that being said, I actually wanted to do Brooklyn this week, but my Brooklyn is not the best example of that figure, so I'm either going to replace him with a better one or try and find his weapon, because he doesn't have that either. And his gimmick's kind of screwy, and one of his wings is a little bit stressed. So I'm going to try and get a better version of Brooklyn, and maybe try and dig up my Rip and Rider cycle and do a twofer for him. But in the meantime, we have the Steel Clan robot to talk about, and since I no longer have the packaging for this figure, let us move right along to the accessories, which he does come with one. A blaster, which, no, this does not work with the Demona figure, though it does look a little bit better than hers because it doesn't have a missile that shoots out of it. That said, I kind of wish it did because, well, he's got something that shoots, but we'll get into that. But it's a nifty little blaster. It's got a weird tuber sticking out of it. Kind of looks like the ones they used in the show, but, you know, it's whatever. He holds it okay. It's not the best grip on that thing. That's what she said, but it gets the job done, I guess. Taking a closer look at Steel Clan robot himself, pretty show accurate, all things considered. I would have maybe made the abdomen silver and this kind of matte gray that they got on the shoulders here. Other than that, he's pretty show accurate. I don't know how they screwed up the colors on the torso there, because they had it going for the arms, the legs, even the head. Which, yes, this is meant to be a robot version of our good buddy Goliath. Kinda was the revival of Throwback Thursdays, the Stone Armor Goliath. And then I think since then I've looked at one other one, the Quick Strike one. But this, you could say, is the third. It's the metal, kind of Terminator version of Goliath. Actually, no, it's not the Terminator version of Goliath. That would be the hardwired one. And I'll talk about why he's got this weird growth on his head leading to his wing here in a minute. But as far as his articulation goes, his one wing does move up and down. Kind of sucks that the other one doesn't, because you can get some really good poses out of this. His head does not move, so again, we'll get into that. His shoulders move, and he's got this little blaster here. His shoulders are really tight too. This is one of the figures I got carded, so he's still pretty stiff in the articulation department. And then his legs move. I'm being careful for a reason here. His legs both move. He's got peg holes on the bottom of his feet too, so that's a plus. And then his tail does move, and I think in the show they did have this little kind of tip on them. So it's very kind of phallic looking at it now, but I believe they had that in the show. But as far as this guy's gimmick goes, he's got a button back here. And when you press it, well, the madness happens. He explodes. This is cool and all. I mean, I have plenty of figures that do this. But I worry about this spring getting weak over time, and you can see it already is. It does not want to lock into place. So, you know, it's something to take note of. You may need to find a way to rip that sucker out, and the only real way to do that is to maybe get a Dremel, crack this thing open, and just pull it out that way. Well, there we go, I guess. It's at least back together there, but putting him back together here. I guess I'll give it one more try, just for you guys. I mean, it's a fun gimmick. It makes sense, because these guys got blown up and punked out all the time, but I worry about this spring getting too weak. I mean, you can see, like, it does not want to stay down at all. So, yeah, not the best gimmick for just the overall aesthetic, really, because it can affect it over time, as you can clearly see. But yeah, I don't know if this guy will stay together. He is at the moment, but yeah, not the best. I might have to have my dad do a little surgery on this guy and rip that thing out, because it's gonna affect... Yeah, you can definitely see this is gonna be a problem at some point in the future. So, I guess with that being said, if I can get him to stay together... I don't know if I can get them to stay together now. This is a pickle, folks. I'm probably gonna wind up cutting it in a sec here and just trying to get him to stay here. Alright. Well, we better cut it and move along to some size comparisons before he explodes again. First up, here is the Steel Clan robot next to a couple other figures from the Kenner Gargoyles line, David Xanatos and Stone Armor Goliath. And last, but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legions, Brother Mandibulus, and 11 Spawn, who as usual, towers over everyone. So with that being said, time to wrap things up, some final thoughts. Overall, and while I have to give Kenner credit where credit is due, out of all the figures I've taken a look at from this Gargoyles line, this guy right here is one of the better looking ones from an aesthetic standpoint, albeit with some odd color choices here and there. And is it just me, or does he seem a bit on the short side? I mean, I know he's supposed to be a robot and all, but isn't he supposed to be the same height as Goliath, not almost an entire head shorter? Let me know in the comments below about that one. But at the end of the day, this guy unfortunately suffers from having a gimmick that makes him rather unenjoyable, which kind of sucks, because back in the day, we didn't have a whole lot of villains in this Gargoyles line. The other ones that come to mind are Xanatos, Macbeth, and Demona, and most of these characters towards the end of the series became good guys anyway, so we really didn't have any villains when things were all said and done. So with that being said, on top of the fact that this guy's gimmick kind of makes him a bit of a pain in the butt to play around with, and I'm not looking forward to getting him back on the Gargoyle shelf, to tell you the truth, I would say if you're trying to complete this line, this is a must-have, but maybe try and find one carded and keep him that way, because he ain't going to explode on you then. I'm not a carded collector, I'm not really into that, but again, he's not going to be taking the rest of your figures out while you're trying to put them on the shelf, which, by the way, just a reminder, not looking forward to that. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's edition of Throwback Thursdays, and if you are so inclined, please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, as well as hit the bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one. And if you haven't already, please hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comments civil. The world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.